Welcome to ICCS Mountain Lion Pawcast. I'm Carson Richardson, your host, and this is William Locker, my co-host. Today we have a very special guest. Our principal, Mr. Hernandez, is here.
Hello. I am excited to be here. This is awesome.
So today we're just going to be learning a little bit more about our upcoming year for ICCS and hopefully to learn a little bit about more of Mr. Hernandez himself and some of his hopes and goals for the future. So Mr. Hernandez, how are you today?
I'm doing great. It's been a phenomenal day.
Perfect. That's good. So today is our third day of school, and so what are your goals? Some goals you have for maybe students and teachers?
My first priority, my overall goal has always been that students find the joy of the gospel. There's just, it's so much joy in serving, there's so much joy in becoming an advocate for yourself, to discover your own path, to be able to identify what you want to do in life, the purpose that you were made for. It's almost like when the screw knows what it was made for, and it's like, it's amazing. Like, I'll hold on to this forever. It's really what happens in our life. If I could help teachers, students, parents find a little bit more of that in their own life through what we do at school, through academics, sports, after school clubs, just conversations at lunch, every opportunity we have throughout the days to help someone get closer to discovery. This is what I want to do with my life. That's my goal.
That's a great message, and you mentioned some after school clubs, so I'd like to talk about that. What new clubs do we have this year?
So far we started with volleyball, which is a sport. We have cross country, which is another sport. Golf team, and we haven't had in a while. Volleyball is again a new addition. So golf is back. We will have gardening club starting up, I think within next week or so. Then we'll have sewing club. We actually will have a cooking club. Chess club will start soon, and we're hoping to add a music club, which will be a mix of instruments, ukuleles, guitar, piano, keyboard, just a mix of all these instruments. So that's something else that we're actually had a meeting about today. So we have about 8 different opportunities for students to, again, be exposed to something that they perhaps haven't been exposed to. And there might be a way that leads them to joy and purpose in life.
Yeah, yes, that's again a great message, and that's great that we have so many opportunities for the students to be exposed to new things and try new things.
What's also great is that there's an opportunity. I'm also considering, I just talked to a parent. There's parents who are saying, here's a gift that I have. How could I offer this to the school? So a parent just came up to me and said, you know what? I have this day off now, and I'm thinking maybe every other week we can do a fishing club. It's funny that we were kind of talking about that in one of the classrooms, and then there was enthusiasm from a couple kids, and it's like, wait a minute. So then it was in my heart, and all of a sudden a parent brings that up, and voila, now it's a potential that within the next couple of weeks we might be having a conversation about a fishing club that happens every other 2 weeks. Another thing is we just got an invitation to take Bishop to the ball game. So next Friday, everybody's going to the ball game. It's a national night. So you go to a baseball game in Phoenix, and then there's a concert after school, after the game. If I can find a bus driver, we might offer that to our students, anyone who can go, get on the bus, we all go as a school, and have a great time at a ball game.
That would be amazing.
That would be cool. So those are all things that are cooking.
Wow. Okay, so I'd like to ask you, why is a Catholic education important to you?
It goes back to hopefully being in touch with the gospel. If I look at the gospel message, the message that it sends predominantly is be a service, be close to God, do your best, put others first, which is what we try to focus on in our academics. Learn the Catholic faith, achieve academic excellence, be a moral, responsible leadership. Exhibit respect for effective communication. That's what we're trying to do. Catholic education allows us the opportunity to tell you when you're wrong using the gospel. And if that's the center of the truth that we can use to correct ourselves, even teachers, I can tell you, your teachers, your parents, your teachers, I always say it doesn't matter who, it's adult. What's true for children is true for adults. You know, I always correct them the same way I correct children. I correct myself the same way. Use the gospel. That's my,
She's a great message.
yeah, that's my magnetic north, you know?
Yes, definitely. So what are some things that you'd like to see happen with the school in the future?
Jim, I tell you that this is an amazing story. Monday morning, I meet with my office manager and I tell her, I want the parish to understand that this is so important to me because we have some money set aside to go to the gym. But I said, I want the school to put, say, $50,000 a year as commitment to raise $50,000 a year towards the building of the gym. I don't know where we're going to get that, but I want us to commit to making $50,000 that we don't need, so I can tell Father, here's our $50,000 payment, help us build the gym. So she's like, okay.
So,
And then she leaves, comes back with an envelope. There's a donation in there. Guess how much was in there? 50,000. I said I should have asked for 100. But yeah, ask and you shall receive. That's the way that God works. Ask and you shall receive.
of course. So now we're gonna get a little bit into more about you. So what's one lesson being a principal has taught you that you think everyone should learn at some point in their life?
You know what? That people just want to be understood. People want to be heard. They don't want to be necessarily told that they're wrong, even if they're wrong. They want to be understood as to why they're doing something that even themselves know it's wrong. And once they're understood, they're more open to make the changes in their own life. That's why Jesus never attacked people with, you're wrong in what you're doing. It's like, I forgive you, but hey, take a look at your life. Repent.
Right.
It's not taking you where you want to go. Be honest with yourself. I've had to see that with teachers, students, parents, that if you listen, so do they.
Perfect. Wow. Okay, so if you could be remembered for one thing, what would it be?
I could be a member of one thing.
If you could be remembered for one thing.
For my kindness. I want people to remember how I made them feel. I hope that people felt my genuine love and appreciation for who they are. I have a genuine appreciation and love for everybody that I've met. I don't think I've ever had a resentment towards anyone, and I hope that people feel that I am genuinely interested in the well-being of your life. And I want you to know that. I wish you the best.
Yeah.
And I just want you to know that.
Perfect. So if you could go anywhere in the world, where would you go and why?
Oh,
And what
man.
does that mean about you?
You know what? If I could go, this is it's something that it's been in my heart for a while. I love history, so I would love to go to the Holy Land, to walk where my Lord has walked. I don't know what that would do for me, but I can tell you that I've been in places where people who were close to the faith have been, and that has blown my mind in terms of, wow, like I went to where Juan Diego allegedly picked the roses, right?
Yeah.
So, and it just changes your life to know this is the setting of that story. But to be able to walk in the place where Jesus walked, to be able to cry in the place where Jesus wept, it would transform my life. It'd be incredible.
Okay, so if you had to write a book tomorrow, what do you think you would write about? It's really simple. Do better. It's very simple. And actually, know better does not equal do better. I've always said that that's something that's kind of weird. Just because you know better doesn't mean that you will do better. Right.
So sometimes you have to do better to be able to know better. But that's in my heart of, like, people ask this next time you go to the store, somebody asks, hey, how's your day going? Guess what they're going to say? Good. Say, what's so bad that it's not great? What do you mean? Most people don't realize that great is an option. What if you made great your option? It's like, I don't want good food. I want great food.
Right.
Like, what's keeping us? Why is it that we don't believe that we deserve great.
Mm-hmm.
That's my message. That was my book of believe that you deserve great.
You deserve great. Wow, that's a very good message. Now we're going to get into a little bit more about you, your family. So how did you meet Mrs. Hernandez? How did you know that she was the one? And did you always know that you wanted kids?
I always did. Kids, actually, matter of fact, I had a lot of accidents when I was a kid. I was born actually a little bit of, with a lot of medical issues. My arm was off my shoulder for years. My mom used to pray over it all the time. It took like 2 or 3 years before my arm settled in. But there was a lot of prayer and stuff. So I knew my parents had a lot of faith. But in that process, as I got older, I found out that they had made a promise to God that I would be back at that temple where they had asked for a miracle, and then they would promise they would take me back. And when I met my wife, actually we worked at the same place. I knew her before, through high school. I knew who she was. We kind of talked. As a matter of fact, I knew her boyfriend at the time. She knew my girlfriend at the time. And there was something about her that I actually remember telling her boyfriend, dude, there's something about your girl that I don't know what it is. And it turns out I married her years later, right? But we worked together actually. And we kind of saw each other once, and we connected, and then I asked her out, so she would go out with me on a date. We went to a block party, and we just had a great time that day. We just went all over the block party. We started the dances. We just had a great time, and we just, she would go to my softball games, and we slowly started talking for a while, and then it was just one of those things that you just know, because you can be yourself. And I was broken at the time. I was so broken. And she didn't run away from that. I didn't have to pretend I was complete. I was able to show her my brokenness, and she embraced that side of me. And that showed me that she was someone who was going to help me put the pieces of my life back together. She had really strong faith at the time. I did. And slowly I started building my relationship with my Lord through that. And then here we go. We got a couple kids in common.
What do you like to do for fun?
I do a lot of reading, jogging, golf. We like to go camping a lot. We outdoors. We love to explore the world.
What's your favorite hobby? Like, if you had a whole day just yourself, what do you do? What would you
probably do? Golfing.
Golf.
It's reading is a pretty close second. My morning routine is I wake up, I go for a mile run, I go back and read a chapter of my book, and then I do whatever I need to do, pack the kids' lunch, and then I wake up the kids. So I get to do that every morning, and every night I close with another chapter. But if I had a whole day, I'd be golfing. I really enjoy golf.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Is there anything else that maybe we've missed that you want to go over, you want to say, anything you want to say to them?
My life is people in this community don't understand, often because they've seen this complete side of me. But anyone who's going through something, and my life was a mess. I was sleeping behind dumpsters for months because I had lost my way to such a degree where, most of my friends, if I could say, most of them are not around, or they're behind bars, or they have a life that's not necessarily a life of enemies. So if you feel like you've strayed from where you want to be, or you think it's too late to make a change, trust me, I was in my mid-20s when the Lord got a hold of my life and my direction just changed. And the mistakes that I went through and the hard things that I went through were very, very difficult. I don't wish anyone to have to walk the journey, but if God can correct that path in my own life, gosh, there's no reason to be feeling despair. I guarantee you, God can fix it, and He did, and He will with you too.
Is there anything you'd like to ask? Well, I think we've covered it all. Pretty much. All right. Well, now time for our minute to win it challenge.
Let's do it.
So today's minute to win it challenge is called Name That Team Challenge. Players will take turns and guest goes first, Mr. Hernandez,
Alright.
listing team names and cities of the sport I choose. For
Okay.
example, if I chose basketball, you guys would have to take turns saying Phoenix Suns, and then Dallas Mavericks, and Los Angeles Lakers. You have to go back and forth, and then whoever blanks on a team
Alright.
is the loser, okay?
No repeats, right?
No repeats. And then the other one is declare the winner. Alright?
Okay.
So your category is baseball.
Atlanta Braves,
Los Angeles Dodgers,
San Francisco Giants,
New York Yankees,
Milwaukee Brewers,
Miami Marlins,
San Diego Padres,
Ten, nine, eight, seven.
New York Mets,
Minnesota Twins,
Ooh. Mr. Hernandez is
St.
good.
Louis Cardinals,
Tampa Bay Rays,
Seattle Marlins, or Seattle Mariners,
Detroit Tigers,
10, 9, 8.
Los Angeles Angels,
Philadelphia Phillies,
Oakland Athletics,
nice. Baltimore Orioles,
Ooh.
uh,
10, 9, 8.
Boston Red Sox,
Toronto Blue Jays,
Ooh, Will's in trouble.
I'm trying to think here.
10, 9,
Oh,
8,
um,
7, 6, 5.
Chicago Cubs.
oh nice, Chicago White Sox,
Have we named all
You got
of them?
yourself out
I
that.
think so.
I think we did that all of them.
No,
There's
no.
like one more.
If you guys list all of them, we might have
No,
to go into
I got a
another.
couple more.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
We came so close.
Oh,
And I didn't think about it until right now. The Arizona Diamondbacks.
Oh my
oh my gosh.
So we missed a
live in
local
Arizona.
team.
Okay, well, thank you so much for joining us this week.
Absolutely.
We had a great first episode, and we wish you a wonderful year as principal. Thank
Awesome.
you.
Thank you, and I wish you guys an incredible amount of success. What you guys are doing is remarkable. You should be so, so proud of what you guys are taking on. This is awesome.
Thank you.
All right. See you guys in the next episode.
See you guys next time.